Hello, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to use Canva to do your shirt design. So here's one I've made here. I'm going to go ahead and recreate it in Canva. I'm going to get right to it because I only get 5 minutes to record the video. So you just want to go to canva.com. It'll probably have you log in. Just use your school email to log in. I've already logged in, obviously. So once you're logged in, you're going to click this button that says Create Design. I would choose Poster because you want it fairly large. Okay. And then you need to check your email, and I've sent you the frog in the email. And so you'll want to go to Uploads, and you'll want to hit Upload Files, and you'll want to select the frog from your Downloads folder after you download it on your computer. I've already done that, so it's right there. But I'll hit Upload File. It'll come up with my files on my computer. On your Chromebooks, there should be one that's just called Files or something like that. But you go to Downloads, you find the frog, and you choose it. Okay, so I'm going to bring it in here because, again, the frog is required for your design, right? And I'm just going to stick it here. And then you got some other options over here. You can add elements. So if you want to look up, like search up some kind of graphic that you think would go good with your shirt, you could do that. Something like this is good. This like starburst thing is a fun thing to use. Something that's like very specific like this or this, don't use that. They're not going to choose your design if you have like a cola can in it. It needs to be pretty generic, okay? What you're really going to use is this text a lot, okay? So if you want to click down in here, this gives you some options. These are the ones I used before, so I'm going to use them again. But if you come down in here, they've got lots of options of different things to do. The ones with the crown next to them are not free, so sadly you can't use that one, right? But like, let's say I really like these two pairings. I could click on this, drag it in, and it's got my different fonts here, okay? And I can ungroup them to have two different boxes of fonts that I can drag around and do stuff with, okay? So I'm going to delete all those, though, because I don't want them in my thing, sorry. And, yeah, so I'm going to use the ones that I picked. So we're going to start off with this Coming Soon font. So I had this idea to do like a frog country shirt, okay? So I'm going to type frog in here, okay? And I want the O behind his head, so we'll get to that in a second. So I'm going to do this. It gives you a color palette from your picture, so I'm just going to choose the green from the frog here, and we're going to make it a lot bigger. So you can use this, but I'm just going to drag to make the word bigger because I want that O to go behind his head. Sometimes it's tricky to get to be able to move it around, so you got to click off of it and click onto it. So I'm putting that there. I'm going to make it even bigger, drag it over onto him again, something like that. And then on my design, I actually decided I was going to make the O even bigger. So I'm going to make this font bold, but then I'm going to take the actual O out and just put some space in there. And then if you click on the words just once, you can use your arrow keys on your keyboard to move them around. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just adjusting it with that. And then I'm going to select the word, and I'm going to make a copy of it here. Okay. And really, if I'm losing you, one, you can rewatch it. Two, I mean, I'm just giving you some ideas. Just mess around with the settings. If you mess around a bit, you'll figure it out. Right? So I'm making that O even bigger. Shrink down the sides of the box here so it's easier for me to control. And I'm going to come stick that behind his head here. And then again, I'm using the arrow keys to get exactly where I want it. And something that will be very handy, so I would pay attention to this, is if you can control the order things are in, what's on top of what, it's going to make your stuff look a lot more interesting. So I want this O behind his head. This looks dumb. So I'm going to click on the O. I'm going to right click on it. And there's an option for layer. For your Chromebooks, it might be a 2-finger click, but it says layer. And I'm going to say send to back. I want that O behind his head. Okay. Then I'm going to readjust him so he's kind of centered where I want him with that O. Okay. And then I'm going to come in, make a copy of this, type the word country. It's obviously too big, so I'm going to shrink it down. Okay. And then I'm going to stop here because you kind of get the idea, but I'm going to show you a couple of things you can do. So you can mess with the effects on the text, so you can put an outline on it. If you get too crazy with the effects, they might not be able to do it, but I mean, do what you can. You want to try to also win. So I use the outline on mine to outline it. You can mess with the color of the text here. You can make it bold or unbold there. There's a bunch of other fonts up here. So if you just want to look through the fonts that they have, you can click through there, right? And just go ahead and make a cool t-shirt design. Again, think of something that you think everybody would want to buy because it's something the Booster Club wants to sell to make money, obviously. And you will win the prize if you have the most sellable shirt. So I kept going, obviously, with mine. And then I got to this Frog Country design that you see here. I'm not going to submit this one. If I were, I would change the fonts a lot. I don't really like the fonts and things like that. But it's an idea of how to go about doing it. So I put Sloan High School on there. And then Frog Country, made that white, put the outline on it, things like that. So if you have any questions about this process, let me know. I'd be more than willing to help you out. And then whoever's design gets chosen, we'll work together to like polish it up and make it the best that it can be to submit. And your design will go on a shirt and you'll win the $100. So I'm excited for y'all.